Welcome back to my channel. I was driving home today and I started thinking that I have not ever really talked about how I started in reselling and how reselling led us as a family to be debt free. So I thought I would do a short little video and kind of tell you about that. So I shopped thrift all through high school. My mom took me to thrift stores ever since I was, in junior high, and I loved them and really, liked finding clothes for cheap. I liked wearing different stuff. I didn't want to wear all the mainstream stuff. So when I got I moved to Dallas to go to the Art Institute, and I ended up working in the buying program at Neiman's and got a lot of exposure to obviously high-end designers and learned a lot about that. Coming from Oklahoma, we just didn't have a lot, especially back then. We have a lot more, but we just didn't have a lot of that type of stuff here. And so I wasn't familiar with, I'd heard of like Gucci and Chanel and stuff like that, but I definitely wasn't familiar with a lot of the more contemporary designers. And so when I was going to the thrift store in Dallas to shop for myself, I wound up seeing all these high-end labels at the Salvation Army and the Goodwill, and I knew how much the value was. And so I just started thinking, well, I can try to sell this stuff on eBay. This was probably 20 years ago. It was before you could even research stuff on your phone. So it was kind of a gamble. But again, I at least knew the labels were valuable. I didn't necessarily know what was hot. So I had to take it home and then look at it on the computer. And I started doing that way. A lot of you might be thinking, why didn't I buy from Neiman's, like on sale and stuff like that, and resell? They did not allow that, and they had a whole team that watched to make sure that associates were not doing that, buying stuff on discount, buying stuff on sale with their discount, and then reselling. So I didn't have that option. So I started doing that to generate a little bit of additional income. And I also, of course, felt like I saved a lot of money because I was finding stuff at the thrift store that people were spending big bucks for a lot of times. And so that's kind of how the reselling business was born. And I got hooked, which most people will tell you. I can't even tell you. A lot of people say, oh, I had this one big sale and I was hooked. That did not happen for me that I remember, but I just loved that I could find this stuff. It was, Acris and Zania and all these things that I could sell and make hundreds of dollars off of. It was amazing to me. I still don't understand. Why doesn't everybody do this? So I did that. I ended up, jump forward some years, and I ended up getting married, and my husband kind of got into reselling. And again, at that time, we didn't make a lot of money. It was early on in our careers. And so a lot of what we were making, we were using to supplement our income. And then again, I'm not sure that anything, my husband got laid off. That's what happened. And I decided when he got laid off, he worked mostly in the IT industry, which gets hit usually in layoffs pretty quickly. They're one of the first departments to go, that we needed to figure out how to live on one income. So we started reselling and putting that money towards paying down debt. And we paid off a car first. We paid off a bunch of student loans, and little by little, we just started chunking away at things. And got down to where we really pretty much just had our mortgage. So again, we're still working. He got a job pretty quickly after he got laid off. And so just to be clear, we're still both working full-time jobs. And this doesn't happen overnight. This takes, 5-6 years that we are just chunking away. We're using this reselling money to chunk away at this debt. And we paid the car off first. Then we had one car paid off. We paid the second car off first. Then we started my student loans, we got paid off. Then we got his student loans paid off. And then we were easily able to live on one income and still have a mortgage. But I thought, I really want to start. I'm in my mid-40s now. So when I was like 39, I thought, I want a 5-year plan. I want to get my mortgage paid off. And that's about the time my husband kind of happened upon FBA. And we hit FBA and we started reselling on FBA and eBay and Etsy. I love vintage, so that was the natural for me. I've sold on Etsy for forever. That's my real passion. I love vintage clothes. But so we're just reselling like crazy, and we just are taking all of that money and we're putting it towards our house. And so in 3 years, we paid our house off. Now, I also want to say I live in Oklahoma. So the average price of a home here is not going to be the same as if you live in California or New York or somewhere like that. Our wages aren't as high either, but it's not going to take, I don't live in $1 million home, so it's a little bit different scenario. So we have got now from reselling, and I also like to think from just thrifting. I mean, I would say we buy 90% of what we own, especially clothing wise, but even housewares, decor. I mean, we buy electronics. Every once in a while we splurge on things, but we buy nearly everything secondhand. So that has saved us a fortune, a fortune. And when I feel like I want to treat myself, I want to go out and get me some stuff, I can go through a store and spend $50 and get me 10 new outfits. And you're going to, not you, but you know, a lot of my friends are going to the mall and spending $500. That makes a big difference. And so that's saved a ton of money that we've been able to put towards that we were then able to put towards our house to get it paid off. So we've now been completely debt free for 2 years. We are going to have to buy another car because my husband's car is getting old, and we'll pay for that in cash. And now we're just rat holing money to try to get ready for retirement. We would love to do the FIRE, the retire early, financial independence, retire early. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm very passionate about thrifting. If you know, and I wanted to kind of share my story so you would know, like, I believe that even if you can't resell, buying secondhand saves you so much money, and you can use that money to apply to other things. And it's great for the environment. I mean, you know, and you can be your own fashionista, your own stylist. You don't have to wear what everybody else wears. I'm very passionate about it. And I don't mean just thrifting, flea markets, garage sales, anything like that. Just buying things secondhand for cheap. I mean, you would be amazed at the things that you can find at the thrift store. People get rid of all kinds of stuff. It's not just junky, crappy stuff, or garage sales. It's not junky, crappy stuff. I mean, a lot of it is really good stuff. So, and then, you know, earn a little extra money and put it back if you really want to be financially independent. It's one of the best things we've done. We still both work full-time jobs, but I like knowing that I go to work because I want to go to work and I like my job, and not because I have to have that income, because we can easily live on one income. So if I get mad one day and I feel like I don't want to work anymore, I don't have to work anymore. And that's just a great feeling. That's a great feeling of freedom. And I'm hoping we get to retire in our early 50s. If we just keep being diligent about saving and putting money back and doing our reselling thing and saving all of that reselling money, it's all extra income for us. So anyway, I don't know if you're just starting out or if you've never been to the thrift store or whatever, but again, I'm extremely passionate about it. So if you love it too, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you got started reselling or what you love about thrifting. And I hope you kind of liked a little bit of backstory that helps you understand when you're watching my videos where I'm coming from. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a great one. Bye.